Hi everyone. It is Nikki. How are you doing? It's Friday evening. I hope your week's not been too bad. Mine has been ups and downs. I am still, hi. Give us a wave. Hey Zoe, I'm still recovering from long COVID. I've got long COVID, so every day's different right now. Yes, let's see. Let's try and add Zoe. Okay, waiting for Zoe Birkett. Let's hope this works, because Instagram can be notoriously... Yes!
Yay!
It worked. The other day I had to try about 3 times.
Did you?
To get my guests on. Yeah, I was like having a silent breakdown.
We're in.
Smile and be like, hey, it's okay, it's going to work.
How have you got your light so bright? I'm well jealous.
Oh, because I've got a ring light.
I've got one here, but it's not doing it, obviously.
Oh, mine's like on half, not even, look, if I put it up really bright.
So do you put yours in there, like in your phone in the light? You're teaching me something here now.
Yeah, because I've got it for DJing. So I have to have it all set up like with different angles. And so I got like a big one. So it works really well.
This is pretty big, mate.
Oh yeah, it's the same, I think. Does it not have a little thing in the middle to put your phone?
Yeah, it does, but it snapped off. It's not going to happen, is it? Yeah. Oh, so usually I have to do this, and I put my phone on this.
Oh yeah.
Kind of behind it, and it works. But whatever. Can you see me though? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? Mine also bent, and then I had to get a replacement part, and they wanted me to fit it. And I think I complained so much, I was just going, I can't fit it myself.
Yeah.
They just sent me a new one.
I'm going to try and put it behind.
It's really hard to do any of that kind of stuff. So firstly, thanks for coming on.
I'm excited. I love chatting.
Amazing. I can tell you work in music because we were both super fast at everything. You're like, hey, do you want to come on? Yeah. Okay, done. Here's the flyer, done.
Yeah.
That's basically how it is in music, right? Everything goes a million miles an hour.
Mate, you have to. Snooze, you lose.
So, Zoe, but first of all, normally when I do these chats, I just ask whoever comes on just to do a little intro about themselves.
Yeah.
Just to say who you are. Well, I mean, I'm sure most of your followers must know exactly what you do. But it's just a little intro, like who you are, what you do, that kind of jazz.
I'm Zoe. I'm a professional singer. I've been singing now for over 20 years. I mean, professionally over 20 years. I've been in various West End shows, Priscilla Queen, The Desert, Thriller, The Bodyguard, Hair, Rent. But a lot of people kind of remember me from Pop Idol, which is I was 16 and I had little blonde dreadlocks. And it's just since I was 16, it's just been the most crazy whirlwind career that I've had. So it's been lovely, really nice. And I've had some wonderful support throughout the years. And I think I'm one of them people that people kind of go, I recognize the name, or if people go, I don't know your face, but they never really can pinpoint what it's like from. And then as soon as I say, they're like, oh yeah, I voted for you, or I voted for Will or Gareth, or I've seen you in the show. So I think I just have one of them faces, one of them careers.
I think like when you're in entertainment in general, that can happen, right?
Yeah.
Because people know, and especially if you're like acting or in different things, or a bit of acting, a bit of singing.
Yeah.
People be like, I know you from somewhere, and they think that you're mates. I've done it myself. I've been on a plane and thought that was my dad's mate, and it was the guy from frigging Black Sabbath, and I was like, no, I'm sure that's my dad's mate.
What? Was it really him?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, but because you just think, oh yeah, I know them, I know that face.
Absolutely.
And you convince yourself that it's your friend.
Yeah, I get that all the time. They're like, oh, am I mates with you? Like, have we been out before? And I'm like, no.
So how long have you actually been singing for? When did your singing journey begin?
Oh God, I've been singing since, well, at first I started off as a dancer.
Wow.
I used to do like commercial, hip hop, street dance, disco. And then I got really badly injured, so I had pins put in my left hip, and I'm always struggling with my hip. I mean, even today, it's just bad. And I think since having my daughter, carrying the weight as well hasn't helped. But I had a major hip operation when I was 14, and I just kind of had to. I'd always sung. I went to stage school. I'm a stage school kid, but I always wanted to dance. The dream was to be a backing dancer for Britney Spears. That was the dream. And then after my op, my surgeon was like, you'll never be able to compete and do the type of dancing that you've always wanted to do, which obviously gutted me as a youngster. So my mum just got me into singing more and acting. It turns out I'm a better singer anyway, which is good, handy. And I've been singing. I've did, loads of like local competitions and worked with various like different producers and created my own music from about 15. And then Pop Idol, I would always say was my big break. But I was doing a lot. I mean, I sung for Tony Blair's son's christening when I was like 14. And I was doing lots of like local things as a singer. But I would say the major turning point for me was definitely Pop Idol. And I think because I was 16 and so young, it's been like 20 years of just singing, which has been brilliant.
I think what a lot of people underestimate when they see, especially women in music, is how long we have to do things and how much work we put in to get somewhere. And then you get somewhere and then you're only as good as your last gig. And then you have to work harder to get to the next stage and the next stage. It's always a really long road. I'm always interested to know, especially other women, like how they've got where they've got. And, it's not the easiest business for women to be in, and especially once you become a mum. Did things change once you became a mum, do you think? Or
I mean, yes and no. I feel like maybe I've tried to bring it back, but I feel like maybe it was more of a stigma in my own mind to a certain degree. Once me and my partner decided to get pregnant, I just come off the back of The Bodyguard, so it was such a big career moment for me that I was like, now is the time. I've had a great run in the show. It felt a perfect time in both of our lives. And then in my head, I had this moment of, I see the mothers and they kind of slow down. And I remember feeling I just didn't want that. I wanted to carry on. I wanted to keep doing what I was doing. And so I worked right the way up pretty much until I think 6 weeks before I gave birth. I was doing panto over Christmas, like literally bursting over Christmas.
Yeah, me too, DJ.
Yeah. And really, you have to.
Till about 5 days before I gave birth, I was in festivals and shows and stuff.
Yeah, good.
I was massive, like 9 months pregnant, doing the craziest festivals and gay pride and stuff. I was like, brilliant. I felt great though. I felt like amazing.
Lucky I had no nausea through the whole of my pregnancy, so I wasn't sick or anything as well. I think that helped. And then once I'd given birth, after about 5 months, people were like, do you want to get your toe back in it? Like, are you slowing down or anything? I was like, no. Like, I'm back in. Like, I had a C-section, so I was like, once I'm back and I'm fully rested, I'm back in. So after about 5 months, I had my first gig. So my first like concerts, kind of back in, not into an 8-show week straight away. And then after 6 months, I got offered my first panto, and that was the first thing back for kind of like your 2-show days or your 3-show crazy manic days. And I just loved it, and I realized how much I'd missed it, even though I kind of wasn't away. I missed it. I obviously missed being, around my daughter, but I think the main thing that I always feel so blessed that, I mean, even now downstairs, my mum is our full-time nanny. So she lives with us Monday to Friday. And it's one of those things where I just feel blessed that if I'm in a show, my mum can come with us usually, and I can get a nice big cottage or something. And so I can usually bring Ari with me. I think from next year, I may feel it because Ari starts school from next year. So I'm not going to be able to take her with me. So I've had like 3 good years of being able to bring her on the road with me and have good fun.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, but I think
because when I've gone on tour, I've had to leave my kid for like a month at a time, or like I've gone touring with Khalees to like Australia or whatever, and we're out on the road and she does bring her kids, but I always feel, as I'm the DJ and sometimes MDing with a band and stuff, like I just can't bring my child into that environment because I might be asked to go and sound check or rehearse or, you know what I mean? It's just too much. So I really, really miss my kid, and I think that's such a blessing that you can take your child with you.
It is, and I feel as well, just knowing that if I'm leaving her, obviously my partner is very hands on as well, but if he's at work, leaving her, she's in the capable hands of my mother, and no one's going to want to love her and look after her more than my own mother.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that I think, you know, does help, and I always do say how thankful I am and lucky that I am that I do have that help, because to be honest, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. You know, I get a lot of tour. I was on tour for a full year last year in Rock of Ages musical.
Wow.
And without having my mum there, I wouldn't have been able to take the job. Like, not at all, just facts.
Yeah.
Or I would have to slow down, or something would have
and
to be
tell
changed.
people how many shows you have to do when you're in the West End, because I know it's, my husband's an actor, I know it's really grueling.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you definitely always do 8 shows. Sometimes you might do a 9-show week. But I think, you know what's the worst schedule is a panto schedule. Panto, you do three shows a day. They really get their money's worth out of you. It's full on.
I freaking love panto.
Yeah.
I'm a borderline obsessed with it. I love panto so much, so I can only imagine what it's like being in it. But they're very physical shows, aren't they?
Yeah. Really physical.
Does anything ever, like, does your voice ever go? Do you have to have, like, does that happen? Because I know when we're touring, sometimes temperature will affect Khaleesi's voice. Like, if she gets a cold, or she could get sick out on the road. Like, doing that many shows a week must be crazy.
Yeah, I think I always describe it. I would say actors and dancers are slightly different to singers. Singers, you just live such an anal life. Honestly, I always say it's like being an athlete. To be honest, yeah, you've got to make sure your voice is warmed up. You know, I can't really go clubbing or go or out drinking if I want to, because I can't shout over the music because it's going to strain the voice. I have minimal, you know, speaking in the day to keep my voice rested as possible. And you are like an athlete, you know, even things that I eat, certain things might give me a sudden flare up of acid, which will rise my tummy, this will rise to the voice. So there's, when you're in a contract, I don't think the audience maybe realize the work that really does go in off stage just to maintain as well. And I think the maintenance side of it is probably the hardest bit, you know. And I think having a younger one as well, who's full of beans, full of life, loves to chat, I can't really do the voice resting anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing, unless I'm really struggling and I'm like, Mum, we can't speak today. You know, my partner, my mum or whatever steps in, or my mum used to, pre-COVID, my mum could maybe take it back up north for a couple of days so I can see the normal family, so I can get, you know, fully rested. But I think it's just, as a singer, there's a lot of sacrifices you have to do, you know, as well, and make sure you get your sleep. One thing I learned quite quickly when I went back to work after having my daughter, pre-child, it was, sorry, I don't really want to swear, but it was such wanker of me, pardon if anyone's watching who's young. I used to say, I need 9 to 10 vocal hours of rest because my voice, right? Now with a kid, if I get 6, I can still sing the same. Something happens to you, I think, when you have that kid, you're like, I can still do what I'm going to want to do. If I want to, I will still do it. And
you definitely have to soldier it. Like, I was running club nights and breastfeeding, and then I'd leave my kid with my husband and then go out and come back at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and then he'd be up at 6, and you just kind of soldier it, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
The sleep deprivation and all of that.
Yeah, you do.
It's kind of insane. And I think a lot of people don't realize as well, when you're in music, you do miss, when you go on tour especially, you miss so many things in friendship groups, in like people's weddings. Like, you make so many sacrifices that people don't really understand unless they're in that tour bubble.
My family now, I mean, we were meant to get married in Bali. We've had to move our wedding because of COVID. So everyone's kind of booked new holidays in for next year and stuff, and all my family's like, can you do it? Can you come on the holiday next year? And I'm the worst family member for that, because I'm like, well, now after COVID, my main priority is to get a job. First of all, once you know, we're back up and running, I hope to be in a show by next year. So I can't book any holidays because, you know, I want to be in a job. And things like you say, weddings and important events, I'm always like, I'm that person. If I can make it, I promise you I'll be there. But I'm not that type of person who will buy cheap flights now for next year. I'll have to pay double next year, you know.
Yeah, me too.
But I'll be there if I can be. But I can't pre-book now because, you know, something might come in where I really need the job. Because when you're self-employed, like, you know, you got to take it while you can.
So your industry and doing musicals sounds almost exactly the same as what I do in clubs and also touring. And I'm presuming, like, all your work just went, like mine did, overnight.
Absolutely. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I had an offer on a show, on a new musical, and then that went. But before that, kind of in a musical, if you also get really nice like concerts or gigs. So the back end of last year, I was in the Bahamas and I had like my own concert in the Bahamas, and I went to the Netherlands for a month. And if I have little concerts like that, I can put them in a contract in musical. So I had a full on year this year. And
Me
it was
too.
just crazy just to be like, I've lost a musical. I've lost all my lovely fancy concert gigs around the world, like no
Yeah.
traveling. And I've lost like my money. Like
Yeah.
what's going on?
I know.
And that's just been a shocker. And I think, if I'm honest, and maybe the majority of people, especially in our industry, I thought it might be like 2 months maybe. I was like, okay, like, I'll take the rest. I'll take the rest. I'll enjoy the family home. I'll do a bit of decorating and whatever. Get back to like June. I'll be back in my gigs, you know. And here we are again, still in the same position.
Yeah.
And even, you know, people are kind of almost hesitant to even book things for concerts and gigs next year until like April, May, because you still don't know what's going on. It's horrendous for our industry. Awful.
Yeah, it really is. It's been tough.
Awful.
Off the back of that is a question that I've been asking all the mums that come on, how you've managed to keep yourself mentally strong, and also how you keep happy during life in general, but also during this time. How have you done it?
I think my partner and family will probably tell you, like, there's times I need to take the energy batteries out, to be honest, because I'm one of them just personalities that bubbles along, you know, and just tries to get on with it. Like, being Northern as well, from a very working class background, just hard work and graft is just the norm. It's what you do. You get on with it. You know, if you get back, you know, I've been up for an audition for the past couple of months, and today I got a phone call saying you haven't got the job, and I was like, okay. And like, that's just normal now, because you get some and you don't. But I've never been the type of person to be like, what am I doing wrong? Just don't take it personally.
Yeah.
You might be too short. You might have the wrong hair color. It might be something so small as that. And I think that's where people like take it really personally. Just on the next one, you know.
Yeah.
And just, I think I've never wanted to give in, and I love what I do. That's the difference as well. Like, I've never, if I'm being totally honest, I've never ever done it for the money, ever. And back in Pop Idol days, I'll never forget one of the judges, Nikki Chapman. We had a conversation.
I remember Nikki Chapman.
Do you remember Nikki?
Yeah.
We had a conversation. She used to be like a manager for Simon Fuller, and I was with Simon Fuller at the time. And she was like, "We've got you this concert," and I was like, "Okay, great. Like, yeah, I'll do it." She's like, "Zoe, I haven't even told you how much it is," and I was like, "But I'll do it anyway." And she was like, the first rule that she told me, she was like, "This is great that you're so enthusiastic as a kid." She was like, "But, you know, it's a business. So just remember it's a business." And I was like, okay. And I've always kind of kept that with me, but I do love what I do. There's no denying that. And I'm not ready to give in yet. And especially now that I've got a daughter, I want to be a good role model for her, even more so now.
And why should you as well? Like, you've got a voice that's amazing. Why should you stop doing that? You know what I mean? There's no logical reason behind it at all. And you look great.
Thank you.
And I took my mum and dad to see Priscilla because my mum loves musicals.
Yay.
And the one thing I remember from the whole show was you.
Thank you.
It was just like, I was just like watching you the whole time. Every time you came on, I was like, oh my God, this girl can sing. And then I think I must have seen the poster and put two and two together.
How wild was that show?
It was amazing, that show. And I'm not even a musicals aficionado or anything. Like, I'm not. I've seen a few of them, but I'm usually busy DJing, so I don't get to go out in the evenings like that. But it was phenomenal. You were absolutely brilliant in that show, and I remember your vocals to this day.
Thank you.
So good.
I love this. I love singing, and I think for any singer, you've got to love it, really, because you're singing from your soul, and you're telling a story, really. I think when I was younger and I used to sing songs, I never really understood what I was doing, if I'm telling you the truth, until I fell in love or had my heart broken or had a child, and I experienced life experience. So now I sing completely different as a singer, because I've got these feelings, you know. I understand the feeling of emotion, especially singing a love song, which I never used to get as a kid. So I think life experience, helps as well with the career.
Has your voice changed at all as you've got older? Has it got lower? Has it got more husky?
Yeah, I think it's it's always been pretty big. Like everyone always said, I've always had a bit of a big voice, which is just down to the people who I've listened to over the years as a child. You know, my Whitney Houston's a massive idol of mine, Aretha Franklin, my Mariah's. So that kind of sound has always been there. But I definitely would say once I hit my 30s and I learned to control my voice, I used to just sing and be like, rah, and let out this sound. But once I got to understand my voice and control it and place it in different places, that's, I think, where I fell in love with the sound of what I was giving, and learned to place it if I was feeling a bit sick one day, or, you know, so then you're not damaging yourself. I wouldn't say it's changed. Like nothing has changed as far as it's got lower or anything like that. It's still, as far as range, my range is still there. But I just think I've learned to understand it.
Yeah, I get it. So you can do a bit more light and shade, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the kind of things I love, when there's emotion and like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just like showing that emotion, I think, is the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as mum life goes, what would you say is yours like? Because we're all about fun and dressing up and going out and enjoying yourself, even if, you know, you don't feel like it. I think there's a real, because I come from like nightlife and DJing and stuff, I never stopped that when I became a mum.
Good.
So I always ask people about their style and like, has it changed? What's your signature mum style?
Oh, probably what I'm wearing today. Like, I love a baggy jumper and a ripped jean, with DMs, but I kind of always have. The only thing, I'll be honest, that is really annoying for me that I can't really do anymore is wear a heel, and I'm such a heely person. But it's not down to like since having my daughter or anything. It's actually my hip. Once I'm like too long in heels now, it's like it's a nightmare for me. I must say a quick hello to people, by the way. Hi,
I know, right?
I've got a girl who's joining in from Brazil, Patty. Hello. But yeah, I would say wearing a heel for me, I love. Like back in the day, I could like slut drop. I could do anything you wanted in a heel, like on stage. And like now I'm getting to the stage, I'm like, oh, I'll just take the boots off. Like I've become one of them. And I'm like in love with the DM style now at the minute.
I mean, it happens to the best of us, because the thing is, I had the hip thing as well. It's my left hip.
Yeah.
And it's never been the same since I haven't got pregnant and had my kids.
Yeah.
And so the same thing, like I can't wear heels for as long, but I'm still soldiering it whenever I can.
Yeah, whenever you can. I would say one signature thing that I actually I'm gonna say is a red lip. You can't. Mine's not popping like yours right now because my light, but it is a good little red lip. You can't really see because my light is terrible. But the red lip for me,
I agree,
saves the day.
I agree. If you're feeling a little bit low, all you need, if you put on a red lip, you cannot help but feel that much more glamorous and a bit better about life.
Feel it. I'm gonna try and move it. You can't even see it. No, this is awful. I need to get down.
It's a nice red, that though.
Do you know
really
what?
Nice.
It's just a little cheeky little Rimmel red one, but I think because I don't wear eyeshadow, I just don't suit eyeshadow. Never have. Whenever makeup artists, like back in the day, like photo shoots, would put on your mascara and you look in the mirror, I'd be like, I look horrendous. Like I just don't suit mascara. It's mascara, eyeshadow. So I always find if I'm kind of in a rush, but I'm like, you know what, I want to feel a bit, you know, on a Saturday when you're like, I'm tired, it's a weekend, but I want something nice.
Little zhuzh
on a Saturday afternoon to go shopping with, pop on the red lip.
So on that note, what would you say, because you know, like when you become a mum, especially at first, it can be quite isolating.
Yeah.
It can be quite a shock to the system. Like, what would you say to mums out there of any age that have kind of lost their mojo and their sense of who they are and their sense of style? Because it's all ties in together, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
What would your advice be? Like, what would you kind of say to mums, like, to really help them with, like, because I would just say, go back to basics, a good jean, like a good sweatshirt, good black t-shirt or shirt, you know what I mean? It's classics.
Yeah.
And then build on that.
Yeah.
But what would you say to someone that's lost their mojo a little bit and is not sure of their body and their style anymore?
I mean, fashion-wise, mojo, I kind of almost as well sometimes live in sportswear, so I do need to take note from kind of trying to get back in with some fashion sometimes, because everyday life for me sometimes is sportswear. But I would say just look at your clothes that you want to get back into as well. Like, remember who you are. And I think I went through a phase of them NCT classes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The baby classes.
Yeah.
They weren't good for me.
Not me either.
I did like 2 and I was like, nah, this isn't working for me, because I went there and all I did was I was obviously talking about Ari and wanting to get to know people, but all I did was chat about work, because naturally, what do you do, or what did you do before? And I was like, oh, I'm a singer and I'm on the road and I can't wait to get back to work, and I'm looking at getting, they'd be like, oh, you're going back to work so soon? And I'm like, yeah. And it was like I had 10 heads. It was like, They were like, why do you want to get back to, they couldn't get their head around. And I was like, this is not for me. Like, I can't go back here, because they don't understand where I've come from. All I've done is work since I've been 16. Like, me having this time off was the first time off I'd had off in my life.
Me too. Same.
So that, I think that was the main shock of being like, okay, what do I do with my day? I mean, it's great. I'm bonding with my little girl. But I'm also going, okay, there's a gig there. Should I do it? Should I take it? Like, in the back of your mind. So getting your mojo back, I think I just needed just to remember who I was. I am a mother, but I'm a better mother when I'm working. I've learned that as well.
Yeah.
You know, I love, there's nothing more than I love, like, being with Aria. Nothing at all, hands down. Especially this year, being able to put her to bed. Like yourself, we work nights. So I miss bedtime and bath time usually. So this year, for that, has just been, honestly, I wouldn't take that, you know, I have to say that's been the highlight of this year for me, just being at home for this amount of time. But obviously, when you're a new mother, and it was a shock, boom, straight in. Like, all of a sudden, I was Zoe, then I was Mammy, like, the next day. So just making sure you maybe go in your wardrobe and try, although give yourself time as well to heal. I tried a little bit too quick to get back into my stuff, and I was trying to get in the gym, and I was all in pain and stuff. And allow yourself to just breathe, find your feet. You know, I had my mom and my family around just to help me and be like, you know, we're here, and it's okay to be not okay as well.
There's a lot of pressure on women for the snapback as well, especially if you're in the public eye or if you're in music. Like, there's a lot of pressure on women.
Yeah. I did not snap back whatever. Like, I put on 3 stone. I mean, it was hard for me. I mean, I naturally carry weight anyway because I'm curvy and I love food. Like, my idea of like a successful night, you know, how people go out and like, I've got a job or something and they go partying. Like, my idea was like a lush restaurant and I'll eat all the food and I'll intake everything. Like, I'm a proper foodie person. And so I can easily put on weight. So that's something I've always been very conscious of, but especially off the back of, you know, carrying a child. But I think, again, just going, I've carried a child, like, just
I know,
yourself,
right?
like, you carried your child, like, give yourself a break as well.
That's good advice. Give yourself a break is like very good advice, especially at the moment when mums are doing a whole lot, sometimes homeschooling, running a business, trying to work, worrying about finances, you know, all the different things that we do. We don't really give ourselves a break, you know?
No.
And sometimes it takes for the battery to be so low for us to feel really like worn out, and then we kind of address it. But maybe little things every day, just doing something for yourself. That's what my advice would be, you know, just take a little breather.
And even like, I love things like just going outside for walks as well.
Me too.
Sometimes when you're
you got a dog?
Yeah, we've got a dog.
Me too.
And I think that's really helped, just making sure you just go outside, take your pram, go on your walk, get your fresh air. And then once I'd kind of built up a little bit of stamina from walking, I started actually running with my pram. So I used to do little pram runs and enjoyed my pram runs. And I think I'd like to not think people go, oh, she's a mother now, because I'm not, in the sense of, in our industry, people can kind of have that, oh yes, she's not right for that job because she's a mum now.
Yeah.
And that has always really annoyed me. Even
I think that happened to me as a DJ. There were certain brands that stopped working with me because they're like, oh, she's a mum now.
Yeah, meaning what? Like, I know, right? Like, I'm Superwoman. Like, what do you want? I'm here.
Yeah, well, that was part of the whole ethos behind Mums at Rave, and the name and everything is because it's a metaphor for not having to give up on things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just so annoying that they always pigeonhole you in one thing or another, and you struggle to get there all your career. And then once you get there and you get to a point where you're okay and you think, oh, maybe I can be a mum now because I've got a little bit of leeway and I've achieved this, and then you have to start almost all over again with another set of hurdles, you know?
Yeah, it is. That's very, very right. There is another set of hurdles, and almost proving to people that you can still do what you used to be able to do.
Or you still look cute and you can still kick it, you know?
Exactly. I remember someone said to me, once I'd had my daughter, they were like, what you just said, has your voice changed at all? And I was like, I wouldn't say it's changed. Like, I'm having to what I did have to do actually is retrain a lot, because I've got like a little gym outside actually in the garage, only for my stamina, because from carrying that weight and my diaphragm completely changing as well from having obviously a child inside, my voice was the same, but the support, obviously, because I hadn't, there was something there, was gone, and my core was gone. My core was shot to pieces, and I was like, but I wanted to get it back. So that was up to me to make sure that I retrain my body and be like, okay, I can do this, that I can do it.
I can really identify, because I had an emergency C-section, and it was not easy at all, and it didn't really heal properly for about a year, I think, because it was emergency, so they just like get him out quick. But when I watch, have you seen Beyonce's Homecoming?
Yes.
When she talks about the same thing, and like the C-section and her body and training and doing the shows, and you see how much work she put in, I was like, oh my God.
Absolutely.
It made me like really emotional watching that, because I was like, finally someone's talking about what we go through in music.
Yeah, absolutely. You literally have to retrain your whole body again. But I think that's the determination inside you as a woman, because I do know a lot of people who don't want to, and I think it just depends on what you're like as a person. I have that thing. I'm always in competition with myself, I think, as well. And I've got this thing in my head of being, I was one thing pre-Aria, but I want people to know I can still deliver. And if anything else, I've got more to prove, to be honest. So it's just something inside myself. And I didn't want to be like the snapback thing or anything like that. For me, it was about making sure that people know that I'm still hireable. I can still do my 8 shows a week happily. It's not a thing. People always go, are you okay going on tour because you've got the little one? I've got that covered. Don't you worry about that. Like, I've got that covered. Like, that shouldn't even be a question.
People used to say to me all the time, like, oh, what are you doing and why are you at work? And I'm like, because I'm a DJ. This is where I work, like in a club or on stage at a festival. Like, this is my job. Like, questioning almost like, well, don't you think you should be at home now, kind of thing. And that was really annoying me.
Someone, actually a family member, said to me when I was pregnant, so you'll be slowing down now then, eh? And I was like, no. Like, you're gonna see me with my breast pump, like pumping milk, like
that's what I was doing,
in
mate.
The interval, and then going back on stage for act 2.
I think there's definitely something in women that have a longevity in our industry being absolute soldiers, because we go through so much to get where we get to. And there's a lot of, especially in clubbing, I don't know about musicals, but there's a lot of dodgy stuff going on, and there's a lot of things coming out right now about DJs and musicians and guys and like Me Too kind of stuff, and people are finally seeing the struggle that we have to go through to even get somewhere. And it's just, it kind of makes you really tough. I don't know about you guys, but I would think musical and the amount of rejection that you have to take and all the rest of it is like, it makes you one tough cookie.
Absolutely. And not only that as well, what I found this year, I'll be honest, like I wasn't even into the whole Instagram thing like a year ago. I kind of had it, didn't really use it. I'm more of a Facebook person. I have like 2 Facebook pages and I do the Facebook thing. I'm like, great. Instagram, I was like, what is it? Do people do stories? I didn't do stories until last year. People do stories? What, people want to hear you chat about anything, right? Okay, I couldn't get my head around it. And then it wasn't until I realized that our industry was, you need to be in it or not. Like, if you're not on your socials and if you're not active, then you're probably going to be out of the game soon. And it's one of them things where you go, you either join it and you get on board with it, or you just don't. And I think you have to if you want to maintain a career. So this year, I just made a choice to myself. I was like, I'm going to be active on my socials. Like, to me, it feels weird sometimes. My battery. To me, it feels weird sometimes talking to myself. Like, that was the hardest bit to kind of get my head around. But then once I did, I was like, people enjoy it. They seem to like what I'm saying or whatever. And this year, I've really tried to put, some more effort and work into making sure that I'm more socially active on my platforms. But I'll be honest, it's only been this year. But I've realized the game's changed.
Well, I'm glad you are. I'm glad, because otherwise this wouldn't have happened, would it?
I know,
right? Like, no thanks.
Yeah, the game's changing, So you have to keep up with it, and people want to have more.
Yeah, and there's so many opportunities as well as like self-employed women that you can take from working. and work in social media, like
Yeah,
just telling
absolutely.
people what you're up to. And
Yeah.
so on that note, you've written a book.
I have. I've written a children's book in lockdown.
That's amazing. Tell
Thank
us about
you.
the book. Like, what is the deal?
So I've always written, and I'm always doing poetry. I actually had my first poetry published, excuse me, when I was 11, and I've loved it. I always have done. And I think since having Aria, I had this idea in my head when I was pregnant. Again, like we said, I was like, I'm going to have maybe a bit of time off when I was pregnant. Turns out I didn't. But at the time, I was like, with my 9 months off, I'm going to finally do my children's books. Never happened. 3.5 years later, lockdown comes, and my partner was like, "You really, really need to do this, because if it's not now, you're never going to do it." So I just sat daily, nightly, and started writing my children's poetry, and I just wanted to tap into things that were relative to me, obviously, which is music, and rhyming poetry and rhythmic patterns as well. And with having a little one, making sure it's tapping on children's development as well. And the thing is with poetry, I don't think many people might take it for granted, but it's so important for your child's brain. It exercises your brain all the time when they go over them rhythmic patterns. It's great for their oral skills, their listening skills, concentration. It's like the list is endless. So I just started writing, and I've decided to write a series of books, tapping on different subjects. The first one was completely inspired by my daughter. My favorite is bath time. It's her first love. She loves the bath time. So it's written around that, her favorite time. But the next one that I'm in the middle of doing as well is I just love, and that I think that one, I mean, the first one now it's out 7th of December, but the pre-order that went out on Monday, it's sold out in 24 hours. So I'm over the moon.
Wow.
That I know, I'm super chuffed with
Where
the
are
support
you
that I've had.
selling? Like, tell us where we can get it.
Because I'm self-publishing it, I'm selling it just directly on the website, which is www.myfavoriteis.com. If you head to the Instagram pages or mine, it's all on there.
Okay.
But the next book will be My Favorite Is Me, and that's just getting. I've got different characters in that one, and that's just getting children to love themselves, to look in the mirror and just look at what they're doing and look at their bodies, look at their features, and just getting. It's so important to get children to love themselves, especially in this day and age with the social media and the anxiety rates that people are feeling and the mental issues that are going on, the mental health issues. So I'm going to be tapping in a couple of different subjects throughout my writing career, how long it may take. But
and did you take inspiration for that from your childhood growing up, or is it literally you thinking about projecting onto your daughter and what she's gonna deal with?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been very blessed with the family that I have. I've got a very, very close family. I mean, like I mentioned, my mum actually lives with us here the majority of the time when I'm in a job, and I'm very close with my dad and my sister, and we're like that. And I've always felt loved. I'll be honest, I've always felt loved from my family. But I know a lot of people don't, and I'm a firm believer in self-love as well. And that does start at a very young age. The things that I've looked up on, research-wise on children development while I've been writing is the years, the toddler years, from now to like 11 are actually the years that then make them the adult that they are.
100%, I believe that.
What? Like,
yeah.
All the things that I've learned, just tapping into, just to help me, get more creative and understand that side of it. And that has just been the main inspiration of making sure that our younger generation, the next generation that are, going to be ruling our world, are loving themselves as well.
Yeah.
Process. But I think that all stems again from just having a lovely family. But I know people don't have that as well.
So you've obviously had a really good example growing up, and now you're kind of, it was part of it like, I can't wait for my daughter to have these books and know that her mom has written these?
Do you know what? I didn't even think that deep. I just wanted to have a positive message for children, and we do books every single night at home, and there's always a story, and there's always a good narrative, and there's always a good at the end, it's always a positive ending, always with children's books. But something as well that I've done with my book right at the end is I do a full page of "Can you tell me?" So I get the children to think about one of the things that I've written at the very end is whoever's reading you this book, whether it be your parent or your guardian, tell them what your favorite part of the day was. And I just want them to think about something that was really happy before they go to sleep. get them to think about what they've done today, whether it be, having a cuddle from your nana, or just playing with daddy, or go to the park with your friends. Getting them to think of a really positive thing that they enjoyed today, that they are thankful for, and that they are grateful for as well. And I think that's important, just to put the gratitude as well back into children as well. I think because of your Instagrams and things and social media, children can lose their manners and can get a bit, and forgetful. And I just want to make sure, especially my child, is remember where you came from, and that mummy and daddy works very, very hard. But also remember, be thankful, and just remember the good things that have happened today. Tell me something, no matter how small it is, just, things like that.
It's so important to me to bring up a caring, nice kid. That's the main thing for me.
Absolutely.
I'm not worried about his schooling or what, because I come from an academic family and I've ended up being a DJ.
Yeah.
But the main thing for me is that he's kind and nice and thoughtful to other kids, because the bullying and all that kind of stuff and trolling, that comes from adults.
Yeah.
And the kids are like an example of that.
Mm-hmm. And
when you've got people in positions of power that are bullying other people, how do we expect children to behave well when you've got these people as examples? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely that. But that's why it has to come from us
every
day. And
definitely.
It's every day as well.
And again, why being a mum is so bloody important.
Yeah.
And I feel like we are quite undervalued sometimes.
Yeah.
So just tell us again, what is the website for your book?
www.myfavoriteis.com.
My Favorite Is. Okay. Yeah. And then all the rest of the books are going to be on there. Are they downloadable?
They're not yet, but I'm actually going into the studio.
Because you'd be great to voice it.
That's what I will be doing. I'm doing it. It's all booked in, but obviously because of COVID, we've had to stop. But I'm going to be actually doing like an audible book as well for people who visually impaired, who can't see the book. And I was thinking, should I do it in my accent? I wasn't too sure, but I've actually written it. This is another thing that I learned while writing is I'm Northern, so I naturally say the words mammy.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, do I write mum? Do I write mom? Do I write mother? And I was writing it, and I was ending it, phrasing it in different ways. And then the lady I was using to do the editing for me to help with my grammar, because my grammar is terrible, even though it's a children's book, my grammar is terrible. It's all good and sorted for the book, but at the beginning it was touch and go. She said, you just need to stick to who you are.
100%.
So everything is mammy, and I've even got the word bum in there, like little. And don't forget your bum, like little cute things that I would naturally say as a Northern mum. And so I've tried to keep it as real to me as possible.
You should definitely voice it in your exact accent, because you've got a lovely singing voice. You've also got a really nice speaking voice.
Do you think?
So I think, yeah, and I love your accent. Your accent's so cool.
Everyone says I talk too fast, and honestly, for 20 years, anyone who's ever interviewed me, like a PR person or who's been with me, has been like, "Can you, babe, just remember to slow down," and then I get all excited, and I'm just gone.
I know, I love it. I love accent, because the thing is, I'm Scottish. I grew up in the Highlands, but I've been in London. I came to London when I was like 11,
right?
And no one could understand a bloody word I was saying. So they would all, slowly I lost my accent. If I go back, it comes back straight away.
Right.
But I love Welsh accents. I love Cornish accents. Like all the accents around the UK to me are just fabulous. And your voice is so nice. So you definitely have to voice the book.
Thank you. Yeah, I will be.
So the next thing that I normally do on Mums That Rave interviews is the quick fire questions.
I hate these. Go on.
These are a thing that we do when we do the live events, because we have actual brunches and raves and stuff, and all mums come, and we have a panel of power mums. So in the normal world, you'd be on the panel.
Wicked.
And we make everyone do these funny, well, you'll see if they're funny or not. But anyway, they're quick fires.
All right.
Oh, I love Scousers. Someone's saying I'm a Scouser. Liverpool people to me are the freaking best. I love them. Big up Bongos Bingo. I've DJ'd up there a few times. Right. Okay. Quick fire questions. Number 1, flowers or fragrance?
Flowers. This is quick. Sorry, this is quick, right? Go on.
Oh no, yeah, like you can still think about it. Flowers. Okay, yeah, I'm fragrance all the way.
I love a
Okay.
fragrance, but if I get a gift, I'll be honest, when my fella walks in with flowers, which bless him is quite often after work, I get more of a surprise. I'm always like, thank you. Like, you know, fragrance for me is like you get Christmas or your birthday or something. But when he brings the surprise flowers home, I'm always like, oh.
What, from the BP garage, or is
From
it
the
like
BP or
bona
Tesco?
fide?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't care where they're from.
I freaking love you. Okay, the next one is brunch with Beyonce or tea with Tina Turner.
What?
I know.
What?
I know.
Do I really? Why have you done that? Tea with
That's
Tina
a
Turner.
really tough one, isn't it?
Tea with Tina Turner.
Me too, all the way. I've actually been to dinner with Beyonce, so I'd rather now. Yeah, and Jay-Z. But anyway, that's a whole other.
Just thought you'd throw that in there.
Yeah, just drop it in. Okay, mini, midi, or maxi?
Ooh. I quite like a maxi in the summer, if I'm being honest. Maxi.
Good choice. Good
Maxi.
choice. Okay, tiger or leopard?
Tiger.
Woo! I love that.
Mm.
I find that one really hard because I love animal print in all shapes and sizes. This one's going to be tough for you.
Go on.
Hold the tears back. Whitney or Mariah?
Whitney.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just
okay.
Straight in Whitney. I loved Mariah as a kid, but for me, Whitney's voice, just the tone, the gospel tone. That
no, she's serious business.
Oh.
Her whole family are like the epic singers, aren't they?
Oh, unreal.
Okay, dancehall queen or disco scene?
Ooh! See, my mum would say dancehall because my mum's a dancehall queen.
Me too.
Massive dancehall queen. We used to watch, there was like a video back in the day called Dancehall Queen. I grew up to that.
Oh, yeah. Is it with
film.
Patra?
Yeah, it was like a full film.
Yeah.
But I can't lie. I love like soul funk and Motown. So I'm a bit of a disco queen.
Okay. I love all genres of music. I play it all, but if I've had a Hennessy, it will always be dancehall.
Dancehall, yeah.
Right. Squats, salad, or sex?
Sex. My mum's online. My mum's actually online here.
Second. Okay. Baggy or bodycon?
Oh, now baggy.
Me too, especially after Corona Stone.
Yeah. Jeez. Baggy.
The last few months have not been kind, my friend.
No, they haven't. It's no one.
Okay, red lip or smoky eye?
Red lip.
Okay. Oh yeah, we've been through that one. Yeah. No smoky eyes here. Okay. Hipster or high-waisted?
Well, Zoe Birkett 2002 was all over the hipsters because I had proper abs. Now I'm a high waist.
Me too, girl. Me too. I look back on some of those and I'm like, oh, what was I thinking?
I do, but I was also thinking, look at my abs. Like I was like full on Britney Spears.
Yeah, you're like.
I was like, look at them, and now I'm like, where's my body gone?
Body roll. To be honest, you couldn't even really get high-waisted jeans back then. Nope. No one was making them.
No. You know what I used to wear? You probably did as well. Jungle pants. Did you wear jungle pants?
Oh yeah, I still. Well, do you mean like combat pants?
The combat, but the jungle, they had like the fringing.
Did I have them? Maybe I did.
Everyone had the jungle with like the netty vest.
Oh yeah, I had string vest. I would still wear them now if I could.
Yeah.
I love a string vest. Okay, so where are we? Okay, Tatum or Hardy?
Hardy, because my fella reminds me of him massively. Yeah.
Where's he? Bring him in.
He's downstairs. Yeah, honestly, like my fella's a Cockney, and every now and again he does things, and he's got a little bit of Tom Hardy too, and I'm like, ooh.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love those kind of dudes. Okay, Moschino. Oh, my son's here. Moschino or Chanel?
Ooh, Chanel, please.
Chanel.
Hey, Chanel.
Do you want to say hi?
Hi. Hi. Oh, how delicious are you?
He is delicious.
Oh my goodness, look at you.
See, I love a bit of Chanel, but Moschino I love for their fun and like.
Yeah, their print is lovely.
Loud print. Yeah, I love it. Okay, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it. Two-step or Dutty Wine?
Dirty wine.
Me too. Okay, Selfridges or Harvey Nicks?
Top Shop.
Love it. Love it. I love ASOS and Pretty Little Thing at the
like
moment.
I'm pretty much like, I wear a lot of high street, to be honest. If I do Selfridges, it's probably because I'm going in for some your sushi, something like that.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I don't eat any meat or fish, so I don't even go there.
Well, I'm
Okay.
pescatarian. I'm meat free.
Oh, well
But
done.
I
I
eat
love
fish.
that. Okay. All right, Harley, you have to come off my lap now because you're taking over.
Look at
You go
him.
over there, okay?
Unreal. He's beautiful.
Right, we've got couple more, two more.
Yeah.
Kitchen disco or rave till the cops come?
Ooh. Probably now, kitchen disco.
Okay.
Probably now. Like, I'll be honest, I've never been that hardcore till the cops come. But I do. But we are very, like, as a family, we love like a little party with like small gatherings. Like, we love all that. We always have people over, and we're always doing that. So probably like a kitchen disco.
Well, I am definitely 100% rave till the cops come.
Yes, girl.
I mean, there's been a lot of parties where the cops actually have come that I've DJ'd at. But anyway, that's a whole other ball game. Right. Netflix and chill or sleep and vitamin pill?
Sleep and vitamin
Oh, is that your one?
I'll be honest, Netflix and chill for me, I haven't ever got the time for a film. Me fella, we always have this like debate. Oh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We always have this debate, like, he loves a film, and if I've got 2 hours spare, something's wrong. Something hasn't been done in the house.
But hang on, Netflix and chill is a euphemism.
Netflix and chill then, fine.
Yeah? Okay.
Netflix and chill.
Okay.
That one.
Well, that's the end of our questions.
Oh,
and
lovely.
it's been absolutely epic having you on.
Thanks for having me. I've loved it.
I think you would be an amazing candidate to come to Mums at Rave once we get back up and running with everyone. Like,
would love
you
to.
will absolutely love it. I'm telling you, you'll love
love
it.
To.
It's
Please,
the most fun
keep
ever.
Me in the loop. Please keep me in the loop. Would love to.
I will. And can you give everyone, like, people that are following you, but everyone else, like, all your socials, where to find you?
Yeah.
What's coming up next for you?
Well, Panto, well, the book gets released 7th of December, and then I'll be heading up north, which is lovely for me because I'm originally from the north, so I get to hopefully be around family, in the Newcastle Theatre Royal Panto. So yeah, and I'm playing a wicked evil part, which I love doing. It suits my voice, suits my style. So hopefully, fingers crossed, with COVID, you can be able to see me live for the first time this year. I can't believe I'm saying it. The first time on a stage in 12 months, which is madness, in Newcastle Theatre Panto.
Amazing. And what's your socials like? Are you on Twitter? What's your website?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't really use that much Twitter. I find it quite negative these days. Every time I go on Twitter, something negative is going on my feed, so I stay away from Twitter. But all my Facebooks are open. I love the Facebook, and my Instagrams are just what you're on now, Zoe Birkett, and I've got my.favourite.is for the book.
Perfect. Well, Zoe, it's been an absolute pleasure. I just want to say, big shouts to everyone who's tuned in, because I've seen all the comments and you've been getting lovely comments. You've got some lovely loyal fans there.
Oh, I'm able to have a little scroll before my battery goes.
Yeah, we should. And hi to the Mums at Rave, Julie, and the other Mums at Rave crew people that tuned in as well.
Oh, great to hear people have got tickets for Panto as well. That's lovely. And yeah, thank you guys as always. I've honestly, the support that I've had for over 20 years is beyond. I've got such lovely, loyal people, and it's every day it's worth me carrying on for. Always, you know.
You know what? Give me the details for the book. I will post it on Mums at Rave. We can maybe do a little competition or something.
Great.
And get it out there. Like, everyone go buy the book. We're all about supporting women and mums on Mums at Rave. So
thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
I will, and you know what? Now I've found you as a DJ, and I know your style. I'll be in touch because we will be getting married at some point when COVID's done, and I need a DJ. So there you go.
I've DJ'd a lot of weddings.
Yes.
A lot. But they're always like really cool weddings where people want to hear like R&B and hip hop and soul, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Bit of garage.
Yeah. My fella loves garage, so he will love you. So, but thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you, sweetheart. And thanks to everybody for coming on.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.